And for the campers? Chiron asked. His eyes met mine, but I couldn't tell what he was thinking. Me! Grover stood up so fast he bumped the ping-pong table. He brushed cracker crumbs and ping-pong ball scraps off his lap. Anything to help Artemis. Zoe wrinkled her nose. I think not, Satire. You're not even a half-blood. But he is a camper, Dahlia said, and he's got a satire. Zoe wavered. I didn't know what a tracker song was, but apparently Zoe thought it was a good thing. Very well. And the second camper? I'll go. Dahlia stood and looked around, daring anyone to question her. Okay, now maybe my math skills weren't the best, but it suddenly occurred to me that we'd reached number 5, and I wasn't in the group. Whoa, wait a second, I said. I want to go too. Dahlia said nothing. Chiron was studying me, his eyes sad. Oh, Grover said, suddenly aware of the problem. Whoa, yeah, I forgot. Percy has to go. I didn't mean... I'll stay. Percy should go in my place. He cannot, Zoe said. He is a boy. I won't have hunters traveling with a boy. You traveled here with me, I reminded her. That was a short-term emergency, and it offered by the goddess, not by me. I will not go across country and fight many dangers in the company of a boy. He is a satire. He is not technically a boy. Hey! Grover protested. I have to go, I said. I need to be on this quest. Why? Zoe asked. Because of thy friend Annabeth? I felt myself blushing. I hated that everyone was looking at me. No! I mean, partly. I just felt like I'm supposed to go. Nobody rose to my defense. Mr. Delick, bored, still reading his magazine. Selina and the Stoll brothers and Beckendorf were staring at the table. Bianca gave me a look of pity. No, Zoe said flatly. I insist upon this. I will take a satire if I must, but not a male hero. Chiron sighed. The quest for Artemis. The hunters should be allowed to approve of their companions. My ears were ringing as I sat down. I knew Grover and some of the others were looking at me sympathetically, but I just couldn't meet their eyes. I just sat there as Chiron concluded the council. So be it, he said. Dahlia and Grover will accompany Zoe, Bianca, and Phoebe. You shall lead at first light. And may the gods, he glanced at Dionysus, present company included, we hope, be with you. I didn't show up for dinner that night, which was a mistake, because Chiron and Grover came looking for me. Percy, I'm so sorry, Grover said, sitting next to me on the bunk. I didn't know that you'd... Honest. He started to sniffle, and I figured if I didn't cheer him up, he'd either start bawling or chewing on my mattress. He tends to eat household objects whenever he gets upset. It's okay, I lied. It's fine, really. Grover's lip trembled. I wasn't even thinking. I was so focused on helping Artemis. But I promise I'll look everywhere for Annabeth. If I can find her, I will. I nodded and tried to ignore the big crater that was opening in my chest. Chiron. Grover. Perhaps you'd let me have a word with Percy. Sure, he sniffled. Chiron waited. Oh, Grover said. You mean alone. Sure, Chiron. He looked at me miserably. See? Nobody needs a goat. He trotted out the door, blowing his nose in his sleeve. Chiron sighed and knelt down his horse's legs. Percy, I don't pretend to understand prophecies. Yeah, I said. Well, maybe that's because they don't make any sense. Chiron gazed at the saltwater spring gurgling in the corner of the room. Dahlia would not have been my first choice to go on this quest. She's too impetuous. She acts without thinking. She's too sure of herself. Would you have chosen me? Frankly, no, he said. You and Dahlia are much alike. Thanks a lot. He smiled. The difference is that you are less sure of yourself than Dahlia. That could be good or bad. But one thing I can say, both of you together would be a dangerous thing. We could handle it. The way you handled the creek tonight? I didn't answer. He'd nailed me. Perhaps it's for the best, Chiron mused. Maybe. I pulled Riptide out of my pocket and set it on my nightstand. It didn't seem that I'd be using it for anything but writing Christmas cards. When he saw the pen, Chiron grimaced. It's no wonder Zoe doesn't want you along, I suppose. Not while you're carrying that particular weapon. I didn't understand what he meant. Then I remembered something he told me a long time ago when he first gave me the magical sword. It had a long and tragic history, which we need not get into. I wanted to ask him about that, but then he pulled a golden drachma out of his saddlebag and tossed it to me. Call your mother, Percy. Let her know you're coming home in the morning. And, for what it's worth, I almost volunteered for this quest myself. I would have gone if not for the last time.